The road dust swirled in the hot afternoon wind as Gabby gripped the strap of her old suitcase so tightly, her nails dug into her palm. She was only 7, but her eyes held a sorrow that didn't belong on a child. The dilapidated shack behind her barely stood, the roof sagging on one side, the rotten planks groaning with every gust of wind. Martha had said she was going to fetch water from the creek. She'd told Gabby to wait right there, that she wouldn't be long. But the sun, which had been high when her stepmother left, was now sinking slowly, painting the sky orange and purple, and Gabby was starting to realize that maybe this promise was just another lie. The sound of an engine sliced through the afternoon silence, and she turned her head toward the dirt road, watching a black sedan approach slowly. The car stopped right in front of her, and a man in a suit stepped out, looking around with a confused expression. He was tall with dark hair, slightly graying at the temples. His suit was dusty at the knees, as if he'd been kneeling somewhere. Andrew approached slowly and knelt down in front of the girl, holding his open hand out between them. His hand stayed there, waiting, while Gabby stared at him without moving. "Are you out here all alone?" he asked, his voice low and calm, like someone afraid of scaring a small bird. Gabby nodded slowly, never taking her eyes off him. Her heart hammered fast in her chest, and fear mixed with a strange curiosity, because this man's eyes were different. They held something she had never seen before in the adults she knew. Something that looked both honest and utterly exhausted. "And the person who brought you here, where is she?" Andrew continued, scanning the empty road and the trees. "She left," Gabby replied, her voice too thin, almost swallowed by the wind. The man took a deep breath and looked at the destroyed shack, then at the cloth bags abandoned on the ground, and finally at the old suitcase the girl held as if it were the only thing she had left in the world. "Is she coming back?" he asked, his voice more serious this time. Gabby took a moment to answer, because she didn't truly know the answer. "I don't know," she murmured, looking down at her own dirt-covered bare feet. Andrew was silent for a moment, looking at her with an expression that mixed deep sadness and tightly controlled anger. "What's your name?" he asked, shifting his tone to something lighter. "Gabby," she replied softly. "Gabby, that's a beautiful name," he said with a small smile. "My name is Andrew, and I am not leaving you here alone. I can't do that." His voice was firm, charged with a decision already made. She looked at him, not quite understanding what that meant, because no one had ever said anything like that to her before. Andrew stood up slowly, his knee cracking, and held out his hand again, palm up. "Come with me. I'm going to take you somewhere safe, where you can eat and sleep properly," he said. Gabby looked at his large, calloused hand, and then back at the shack behind her. The place was awful and cold and smelled of mold, but it was the only place she knew now. "What if she comes back and I'm not here?" Gabby asked, her voice trembling with fear. Andrew sighed and knelt down again, meeting her eyes. "If she comes back, I will explain to her where you are and how to find you. But right now you need food, a warm place, and someone to take care of you the way you deserve," he said, looking deep into her eyes. Gabby felt her eyes sting and her throat tighten, as if something was stuck inside. She wanted to believe this man in the dusty suit, but she had learned the hard way not to trust promises. "Do you really promise?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "I promise. Gabby, I promise I will take care of you," Andrew replied, and this time she felt she could believe him. She slowly let go of the suitcase, dropping it onto the dirt, and placed her small, trembling hand in his large one. He closed his fingers gently, as if she were made of glass. Andrew picked up the suitcase with his other hand, noting how light it was for a whole life, and started walking toward the black car, pulling Gabby slowly as she stumbled over the loose stones on the path. The car was large and shiny, and seemed completely out of place in that landscape of dry dirt and abandonment. Andrew opened the back door and carefully placed the suitcase on the seat. "Hop in the front with me," he said, pointing to the passenger seat. Gabby climbed in with difficulty because her legs were too short, and when she finally managed to sit down, she felt the soft leather beneath her, so different from anything she had ever touched. Andrew got in on the other side and started the engine, which purred low and steady. "Are you hungry?" he asked as he buckled his seatbelt. Gabby nodded because she was starving. Andrew grabbed a paper bag from the dashboard and handed it to her. "There are cookies in there. Eat as many as you want," he said with a small smile. Gabby slowly opened the bag and saw the sandwich cookies inside the clean, fragrant package. She grabbed one and bit into it, feeling the sugar melt in her mouth and the sweet taste she had completely forgotten existed. "Slow down, or you'll get sick," Andrew warned, glancing over at her. The car swayed over the bumps, and she held the cookie package tightly, trying to eat slower, but it was hard. They left the dirt road and merged onto a wide, smooth paved highway where other cars sped past. Gabby watched everything through the window, her eyes wide, seeing houses appear gradually, first small and simple, then larger and more beautiful. "Where are we going?" she asked, wiping her mouth with the back of her hand. "To my house," Andrew replied, keeping his eyes on the road. The car turned onto a wide, tree-lined street and stopped in front of a huge house with large windows and a lit porch. "You live here?" she asked, incredulous, unable to close her mouth. "I do," Andrew replied, driving slowly into the garage and parking. He got out and went to her side, opening the door and holding out his hand again. "Come on. I'll show you the house and the room where you'll sleep tonight," he said. Gabby got out of the car, her legs trembling from exhaustion and nervousness. They entered through the kitchen door and she stood still, staring at everything with her mouth open. The kitchen was bigger than the entire shack. It had a large wooden table with 6 chairs, gleaming pots hanging up, and a huge refrigerator. "You really are hungry, aren't you?" Andrew said when he heard her stomach rumble loudly. He opened the fridge and took out glass containers, starting to heat up rice, beans, and meat in a pot. The smell grew stronger and her mouth began to water. Andrew served a generous portion onto a deep plate and set it in front of her, along with a fork and a glass of cold orange juice. "Eat slowly so you don't get sick, okay?" he said, sitting down across the table. Gabby picked up the fork with a trembling hand and began to eat, savoring the taste of the warm food she hadn't had in so long. Every bite seemed to heal a small piece of the pain she had been holding inside. When she finished, Andrew took the plate and carried it to the sink. "Now I'll show you where you'll sleep, and tomorrow we'll talk about the rest," he said, drying his hands. She followed him, crossing a huge living room and climbing a wide staircase to the second floor, where there was a hallway with several doors. Andrew opened one at the end and turned on the light, revealing a room with a double bed covered with a light blue comforter, a desk, and a large window with white curtains. "You can stay here for now. The bathroom is that door right next to it," he said, pointing. "Are you serious?" she asked, turning to look at him, her eyes shining. "It's serious, Gabby. This room is yours while you're here," Andrew confirmed. "Tomorrow we'll figure out the rest, but right now you need a bath and some rest," he said. Gabby turned to him, and for the first time since she had been abandoned, she felt like crying, not from sadness, but from something close to hope. "Thank you," she managed, her voice catching. Andrew smiled and placed his hand lightly on her shoulder. "You don't need to thank me, Gabby. You deserve to be in a safe place," he replied. He left and returned with a towel and a large t-shirt she could use for sleeping. She went into the bathroom and turned on the shower, feeling the hot water run down her back, washing away all the dirt. When she came out, she put on the t-shirt, which reached her knees, and lay down on the bed, sinking into the soft mattress. She closed her eyes and was almost asleep when she heard a light knock on the door. "Gabby, are you awake?" Andrew asked from the other side. She answered yes, and he came in, bringing a glass of water that he placed on the nightstand. "Brought you water in case you wake up thirsty," he said. "Sleep peacefully. You are safe here," he finished before leaving. Gabby pulled the comforter up to her chin and closed her eyes, managing to sleep without fear for the first time in a long time. Morning arrived slowly, with clear sunlight streaming through the window and hitting Gabby's face. She woke up startled, unsure where she was. Her heart raced and she sat up in bed, looking around until the memories returned one by one. The man in the suit, the black car, the huge house, the warm food. It was all real, not a dream. Gabby got up slowly and went to the window, pulling the curtain aside. Outside there was a huge yard with green grass, colorful flowers, and tall trees swaying in the wind. It was so different from everything she had ever seen that for a moment she thought she was still sleeping. She heard footsteps in the hallway and then a light knock on the door. "Gabby, are you up?" Andrew asked from the other side. "I'm up," she replied, moving away from the window. He opened the door slowly and came in, already dressed in jeans and a light blue shirt. His hair was still wet from his shower. "Morning? Did you sleep well?" he asked, leaning against the doorframe. "Yes, I did," she replied softly. "That's good, I'm glad. Come have breakfast with me. Afterward, we need to talk about some important things," he said. Gabby followed him down the stairs, across the living room, and into the kitchen, where the table was already set with a white cloth. There were rolls, toast, butter, jam, cold cuts, cheese, fruit, and a pitcher of orange juice. "Sit here and eat as much as you want." "Don't be shy," Andrew said, pulling out a chair for her. She sat down and looked at the table, unsure where to start. "You can take whatever you like," Andrew said, grabbing a roll and spreading butter on it. Gabby slowly reached out and took a piece of toast, which she covered with jam. They ate in silence for a few minutes until he wiped his mouth and turned to look at her. "Gabby, I need to ask you some questions and you need to answer honestly, okay?" he began. She stopped chewing and nodded, feeling her heart speed up. "Do you have a living father or mother?" he asked. "My dad passed away when I was really little. I don't remember him." "My mom died about 2 years ago. She got sick," Gabby replied softly, feeling her throat tighten. "And after your mother passed away, who took care of you?" Andrew wanted to know. "My dad had remarried before he died, so his wife became responsible for me. Her name is Martha," Gabby recounted. "And was it this Martha who took you to that shack yesterday?" he asked. "It was. She said we were going to live there because she didn't have any money left. But when we got there, she said she was going to get water and told me to wait. But she never came back," Gabby explained, her voice starting to fail. Andrew took a deep breath and ran a hand over his face, as if trying to control his anger. "Did she hit you?" he asked, looking directly into her eyes. Gabby looked away and took a moment to answer. "Sometimes. When she got upset," she admitted shamefully. "And did she give you food every day?" Andrew continued. "Not always. Sometimes she forgot or said there wasn't any," Gabby replied. Andrew closed his eyes for a second, and when he opened them again, they were red-rimmed. "Gabby, I am not going to let you go back to that woman. I won't let you go through that again," he said, his voice firm. "But what if she looks for me?" Gabby asked fearfully. "If she looks for you, I will handle it. But I highly doubt she will show up, because anyone who abandons a child the way she abandoned you isn't interested in caring for them," Andrew stated. They finished breakfast in silence, and Andrew stood up to collect the dishes. "Today I need to go out and take care of some things. I'm going to the courthouse to see what needs to be done to keep you here legally," he explained. "You're going to leave me here alone?" she asked, feeling panic rise. "No, you'll stay with Celia. She's the woman who takes care of the house. She comes every morning," Andrew replied. A few minutes later, the doorbell rang and Andrew went to the door. Gabby heard voices, and then a short woman appeared with grey hair pulled back in a bun and a flowered apron. She had small, kind eyes and a wide smile. "Celia, this is Gabby," Andrew introduced. "Hello, sweetie." "What a beautiful girl," Celia said, bending down. Andrew grabbed his keys and knelt in front of Gabby. "I'll be back soon. Stay here with Celia, and if you need anything, just ask, okay?" he said. "Okay," she replied, feeling a tightness in her chest. He left, and Gabby stood still in the middle of the kitchen, looking at Celia, who smiled. "Come here, sweetie. I'll show you the whole house," she said, holding out her hand. Celia showed her every room in the house, talking about every detail. "This house is really big," Gabby commented, impressed. "It is. Andrew has lived here alone for about 3 years, ever since his mother passed away," Celia recounted. "Does he have anyone else?" Gabby asked. "He has a younger brother who lives in another city, but they don't talk much," Celia explained. "Now tell me, do you like to cook?" Celia asked. "I've never really cooked," Gabby admitted. "Well, today you're going to learn. I'm making a chocolate cake and you're going to help me," Celia said excitedly. They spent the entire morning in the kitchen, and Celia taught Gabby how to crack eggs, sift flour, and mix everything slowly. Her small hands held the wooden spoon as she stirred the brown batter that smelled of cocoa. "You're good at this," Celia praised. "Really?" Gabby asked, her eyes shining. "Really. You have a knack for the kitchen," Celia confirmed, placing the pan in the oven. While the cake baked, they sat at the table, and Celia asked questions about things Gabby liked to do. If she knew how to read, if she had gone to school. Gabby replied that she knew how to read a little, but had stopped going to school when her mother got sick. "School is important, sweetie. You need to study to have a better future, Celia said kindly. I know, but Martha never wanted to enroll me again, Gabby explained. Well, things are going to be different now, Celia assured her. The smell of the cake filled the house, and when the timer beeped, Celia took the pan out, revealing a perfect, tall, fluffy cake. Look how beautiful it turned out, she said proudly. The sound of the garage door echoed, and Andrew walked into the kitchen carrying 2 large shopping bags. He stopped when he saw the cake and smiled. That smells amazing. Who made this? He asked. Gabby helped me, Celia replied. Seriously? It looks great, Andrew said, looking at her. Gabby felt her cheeks warm. I brought you a few things, Andrew said, placing the bags on the table. Gabby approached and saw that inside there were new clothes, pants, t-shirts, a jacket, sneakers, socks, all in her size. All this is for me, she asked, disbelief coloring her voice. All of it. I asked for help at the store and they put some things together, Andrew explained. But it must have cost a lot, Gabby said, worried. Don't worry about that. You needed new clothes, he replied. Go try them on and see if they fit, Andrew encouraged. Gabby grabbed the bags and ran upstairs to the room. She tried on every piece and everything fit perfectly. She came down wearing jeans and a pink t-shirt with a star design. It looks perfect, Andrew said when he saw her. Thank you, Gabby said, managing to look him in the eye. They ate lunch together and Celia had prepared rice, beans, potatoes, salad and roasted chicken. Everything was delicious. After lunch, Andrew said he needed to talk to her again. Gabby, this morning I went to the courthouse and spoke with some people about your situation, he began. And what did they say? She asked nervously. They said that for you to stay here with me legally, I need to file for temporary custody. That means the court will authorize you to live here while they investigate, Andrew explained. And what if they decide I have to go back to Martha? Gabby asked, feeling the fear tighten its grip. I will do everything to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm going to hire a lawyer, and I will show them that you cannot go back, Andrew guaranteed. Do you really want me to stay here? She asked quietly. I do, Gabby. I know this all happened fast, but when I saw you alone on that road, I knew I had to help you. And now I can't imagine sending you away, he replied sincerely. I want to stay here with you, she said, and her voice was firm for the first time. Andrew smiled and affectionately ran his hand over her head. Then it's decided. You're staying here and we'll sort everything out properly, he said with determination. The following days passed with a strange speed. Gabby woke up in the comfortable room, came down to have breakfast with Andrew, who always asked how she had slept. She spent the mornings with Celia learning to cook and ate hearty lunches. A week after the hearing, Andrew walked into the living room where she was reading. Gabby, tomorrow we have a hearing at the courthouse. It's a meeting with a judge who will decide about custody, he explained. Do I have to go? She asked, feeling her stomach churn. Yes, you do. The judge will want to talk to you, Andrew replied. Will you stay with me in there? She wanted to know. I will. I won't leave you alone, Andrew promised. That night she barely slept, tossing and turning in bed, imagining what it would be like. When the sun began to rise, she was already awake. She heard Andrew in the hallway and went downstairs, finding him in the kitchen. Did you manage to sleep? He asked. More or less, she admitted. It's going to be fine. Trust me, he said with a smile. They got into the car and the drive took 40 minutes. The courthouse building was large and old with columns out front. Andrew held her hand as they climbed the steps, and Gabby squeezed his fingers tightly. Inside, many people were walking back and forth. Andrew spoke to a woman, and they took an elevator up to a quiet hallway. It's here, Andrew said, stopping in front of a door. They entered a small waiting room and sat down. After 20 minutes, a woman called Andrew's name, and they followed her down a corridor to a smaller room with a round table. The woman said the judge would arrive shortly. The door opened and a man in his 60s with grey hair and glasses walked in. He wore a black robe and carried a folder. Behind him came a younger woman. Good morning. I am Judge Harrison and this is Dr. Paula, he said, sitting down. You are Gabby, correct? He asked, looking at her with a gentle smile. Yes, sir, she replied softly. You don't need to call me sir. You can call me Harrison, he said, trying to put her at ease. Judge Harrison opened the folder and took out some papers, arranging them on the table. Mr. Andrew, can you explain how you met Gabby? he asked. Andrew recounted the entire story, from the moment he was returning from his meeting and saw Gabby alone next to the shack. He explained that he stopped to see if she was okay and discovered she had been left there. He said he brought her home because he couldn't leave her in that dangerous place. The judge listened intently without interrupting, making notes. When Andrew finished, he turned to Gabby. "Now I need to talk to you, Gabby. Is that all right?" he asked. "Yes," she replied. "Tell me what your life was like before you went to that shack," the judge requested. Gabby took a deep breath and began to speak, her voice low but firm. She explained that her mother had died 2 years ago and that since then she had been with her stepmother, who didn't like her. She recounted that she often went without food and was hit when she was slow doing chores. The judge listened carefully without interrupting, his eyes growing sadder with every sentence. "And on the day you went to the shack, what exactly happened?" he asked. "Martha said we were going to live there because she didn't have any money left. When we arrived, she told me to get out with the suitcase and said she was going to get water. She told me to wait, but she never came back," Gabby explained, her voice starting to tremble. "How long were you waiting?" Dr. Paula asked. "I don't know exactly, but the sun was high when she left and it was almost dark when Andrew arrived," Gabby replied. "And were you scared?" The doctor continued. "I was very scared. I didn't know what to do," Gabby admitted. Dr. Paula wrote something down and looked at the judge. "Gabby, answer me one thing honestly. Do you want to go back to your stepmother's house?" The judge asked, looking deep into her eyes. "No, I don't want to go back," she replied without hesitation. "Why?" He wanted to know. "Because she doesn't like me and I'm afraid of her. And because she left me alone and drove away," Gabby explained, feeling tears start to well up, but she managed to hold them back. "And do you like being at Andrew's house?" the judge asked. "I like it very much. He is good to me and treats me well. I feel safe there," she replied. The judge exchanged another look with Dr. Paula, then looked at Andrew. "Mr. Andrew, do you understand that taking custody of a child is an enormous responsibility?" he asked. "I understand perfectly and I am prepared for it," Andrew replied without hesitation. "Do you have the financial means to support the child?" The judge continued. "I do. I work as a civil engineer and have a stable income," Andrew explained. The judge made a few more notes, then closed the folder and took off his glasses. "Very well. I'm going to grant temporary custody to Mr. Andrew for a period of 6 months. During this time, the social services team will conduct visits to evaluate the adjustment," he said. Gabby felt her heart leap. "After this period, we will hold a new hearing to decide if custody becomes permanent," the judge completed. "Thank you, Judge," Andrew said, his voice relieved. "Regarding the stepmother, we will notify the police to locate her, and she will face charges of abandonment. If she is found, she may contest custody, but considering she abandoned the child, the chances of success are minimal," the judge explained. The judge stood up and extended his hand to Andrew, who shook it firmly. Then he knelt down and held out his hand to Gabby. "Take good care of your guardian and make the most of this chance," he said with a smile. They left and walked back down the corridor. Only when they got into the car and closed the doors did Andrew let out a long sigh. "We did it, Gabby. You're staying with me," he said, turning to look at her. "Really?" she asked, still not believing it. "Really," he confirmed. Gabby felt such a strong wave of emotion that she started to cry. Andrew pulled her into a hug and let her cry until she had no tears left. When they arrived home, Celia was waiting at the door. When she heard the news, she hugged Gabby tightly. "What a blessing, sweetie, what a blessing," she repeated, her voice choked. That night they celebrated with a special dinner that Celia prepared. There was lasagna, salad, garlic bread, and for dessert, pudding, which was the most delicious thing Gabby had ever tasted. After dinner, Andrew called Gabby to sit with him on the couch. "Gabby, now that you're really staying here, we need to think about some important things," he began. "What things?" she asked. "First, you need to go back to school." "Education is essential," he said. "I want to go back." "I like studying," she replied excitedly. "That's great. Tomorrow I'll get you enrolled," Andrew said. "And there's one more thing. I want you to know that you can count on me for everything. If you have a problem, a question, a fear, anything at all, I want you to come talk to me," he said, looking into her eyes. "Okay, I promise," Gabby replied. "And finally, I know this is all very new, but I want you to feel at home here. This place is yours now too, Andrew completed. Gabby felt her chest tighten, and without thinking, she threw herself into his embrace. Thank you for saving me, she whispered. You don't need to thank me. I'm the one who thanks you for trusting me, he replied. The following weeks were all about adjustment. Andrew kept his promise and enrolled Gabby in a private school near the house. On the first day, she was nervous, but the teacher was kind and introduced her to the class. It was difficult at first because the other children already had their cliques. But slowly, a girl named Leah started sitting near her and striking up conversations. They discovered they liked the same things, and in a short time they became friends. At home, Gabby helped Celia and continued learning to cook. She discovered she enjoyed working with dough and made better and better breads and cakes. 3 months after the hearing, a social worker came for the first visit. She was a young woman with an easy smile who introduced herself as Sarah. She talked to Gabby alone, asking how she was feeling, if she liked school, and if Andrew was treating her well. Gabby answered everything honestly, saying she was happy and had never felt so good. Afterward, Sarah talked to Andrew and Celia and took notes. Before leaving, she said she would return in 2 more months and that everything was great so far. Time passed, and Gabby transformed from a frightened girl into a healthy, happy child. She gained weight and her face filled out. Her hair grew and Celia braided it differently every day. One night, Andrew came into her room at bedtime and sat on the edge of the bed. "Gabby, I want to ask you something," he said. "You can ask," she replied. "How do you really feel about living here?" Truly no lies, he wanted to know. "I feel happy." "I feel safe and I feel loved," she replied, and it was the first time she had used that word. Andrew smiled, and his eyes grew bright. "I love you too, Gabby. You brought a light into this house that has been empty for a long time," he confessed. "Do you think Martha might come back someday and take me away?" Gabby asked fearfully. "No, she won't take you. I will do everything to ensure you stay here with me forever," Andrew guaranteed. "Forever?" she repeated. "Forever," he confirmed, placing his hand on her head. Gabby hugged him tightly, and that night she slept more peacefully because, for the first time, she was certain she wouldn't be left behind again. The following months brought a routine she never imagined having. She woke up early, got ready, and had breakfast with Andrew, who was always reading the newspaper. Then Andrew drove her to school and waved goodbye. At school, Gabby had become a dedicated student. She sat in the front row because she wanted to learn everything she had missed. Her teacher, Ms. Miller, noticed her effort and began giving her special attention, helping her with the tougher subjects. Leah remained her best friend, and they did homework together. One day, Ms. Miller asked Gabby to stay after class. "Gabby, I wanted to tell you that I am very proud of your progress. You came here struggling, and in just a few months you've caught up with the class," she said. "Really, Ms. Miller?" Gabby asked, her eyes shining. "Really." "You are one of my best students now," the teacher assured her. "I really like studying. So it's just that before I couldn't," Gabby explained. "I know your story. Andrew talked to me when he enrolled you," the teacher said softly. "Sometimes I'm still afraid it will all end," Gabby admitted quietly. "That won't happen. You're in a safe place now," the teacher assured her. Gabby left that conversation feeling lighter. When Andrew picked her up, she told him everything and saw the pride on his face. "I always knew you were smart. You just needed a chance," he said while driving. "Thank you for giving me that chance." Gabby thanked him. "You don't need to keep thanking me all the time," Andrew replied, "but not everyone would do this. Most people drove past that road and no one stopped," she countered. Andrew fell silent because he knew she was right. When they arrived home, Celia was finishing lunch. Afterward, they sat together, and Andrew talked about his day at work. Gabby talked about her classes, and Celia told funny stories. The second visit from the social worker, Sarah, happened on a Saturday morning. She talked to Gabby, who told her about school and her good grades. She talked to Andrew, who showed her report cards and photos from the last few months. She talked to Celia, who spoke highly of Gabby. "I have no doubt that this is the best situation for Gabby," Sarah said before leaving. "Does that mean everything will go well at the final hearing?" Andrew asked. "I will submit an extremely favorable report, and considering the stepmother never showed up, I would say the chances are excellent," Sarah explained. Andrew thanked her and closed the door. He turned and saw Gabby standing there looking at him. "Did you hear what she said?" he asked. "I did," Gabby replied. "In 3 months, we have the final hearing, and after that, you will officially be my daughter," Andrew said. And it was the first time he had used that word. Gabby felt something explode inside her chest. She ran and jumped into his arms. He caught her and spun her around, laughing. "Your daughter, for real?" she asked. "For real? I'm going to file for adoption as soon as the custody is finalized," Andrew confirmed. "Can I call you Dad?" Gabby wanted to know. "You can call me anything you want, but I would love to be called Dad by you," he replied, his voice trembling. Gabby hugged him tightly and repeated the word softly, testing it out. "Dad," she said, and the word sounded right and true. The next 3 months were spent preparing for the final hearing. Andrew hired a specialized lawyer who prepared all the necessary documents. He gathered school reports, medical certificates, photos of happy moments, and testimonials from Celia and Ms. Miller. Gabby remained focused on her studies, and at the end of the school year, she received an honorable mention for having the best performance, considering her starting point. At the ceremony, she went up on stage to receive the certificate and saw Andrew in the audience, his eyes shining, clapping louder than anyone else. Summer vacation began, and Andrew took 2 weeks off to take a trip with Gabby. They went to the beach and stayed in a small hotel facing the ocean. She had never seen the sea and spent hours watching the waves crash. Andrew taught her to swim in the shallow water, and she laughed so hard she swallowed salt water. But she didn't stop laughing. They built sandcastles, walked on the beach in the late afternoon, and ate ice cream sitting on a bench. One night, while they were on the balcony watching the stars, Gabby asked something that had been weighing on her. "Do you miss living alone?" she wanted to know. Andrew took a moment to answer. "At first, I thought I would. I had gotten used to the solitude. But now I can't imagine what it was like before you arrived," he said. "But your life changed a lot because of me," Gabby insisted. "It did change." "Yes, and for the better," Andrew assured her. "How for the better?" she asked. "Because before I was just existing. I woke up, worked, came back, and repeated it without purpose. But now I have a reason to wake up," he explained. "I care about you a lot," Gabby said. "I know. And you have no idea how much that means," Andrew replied, placing his hand on her head. They returned from the trip tanned and happy. Celia said they looked like a completely different pair. The final weeks before the final hearing passed quickly, and when the day arrived, Gabby was nervous, but not scared like the first time. They entered the courthouse building, went up to the same floor, and were called into the room where Judge Harrison was already waiting with Dr. Paula and the social worker. Sarah, the lawyer Andrew had hired, was also there. "Good morning. We will continue the custody proceedings for the minor, Gabby," the judge began. "I have read all the reports and I must say I am impressed with the progress," he said, looking at Gabby. "How are you feeling, Gabby?" he asked. "I'm very happy, Harrison," she replied. "And you want to continue living with Andrew?" he asked. "I really do." "He's the best thing that ever happened in my life," she replied without hesitation. The judge looked down at the papers, then up at Andrew. "Mr. Andrew, I see here that you have filed a petition for adoption. Is that correct?" he asked. "Yes, sir. I would like to officially adopt Gabriella," Andrew confirmed. "And you understand that adoption is irreversible and that you will assume all the rights and responsibilities of a parent?" the judge questioned. "I understand perfectly, and that is exactly what I want," Andrew replied. The judge turned to Faith. "Dr. Faith, what is your recommendation regarding this adoption?" he asked. "My recommendation is entirely favorable. I have rarely seen such a successful adjustment. The child is healthy, happy, well cared for, and loved," Faith responded. The judge nodded and looked at Dr. Page. "And what is your psychological evaluation?" he wanted to know. "My evaluation is that Gabriella has developed a very strong emotional bond with Andrew, and separating them would be detrimental. She has finally found stability," Dr. Page explained. The judge remained silent for a moment, then struck the gavel on the desk with a sharp sound. "Given all the evidence presented, and considering the best interest of the child, I grant permanent custody and authorize the adoption process. Mr. Andrew is now officially Gabriella's father," he declared. Gabby felt tears stream down her face, and Andrew pulled her into a tight hug. "Congratulations to both of you. Take care of each other," the judge said, standing up. They left that room with an official piece of paper that changed everything. In the car, Andrew sat still without starting the engine, staring at the document. "We did it," he finally said. "We did it, Dad," Gabby repeated, and the word came out naturally. When they arrived home, they found a surprise. Celia had organized a small celebration with the help of Leah and her mother. There were colorful balloons, a big frosted cake that read "Congrats, family," finger foods, soda and presents. "How did you guys know?" Andrew asked, surprised. "I called Celia from the courthouse to let her know," Faith confessed, appearing behind them. It was an afternoon of celebration. Gabby played with Leah in the yard while the adults talked. She opened her presents and received books, clothes and a red bike Andrew had hidden in the garage. When night fell and everyone had left, the house returned to silence, but it was a silence full of promises. That night, Andrew went into Gabby's room and sat on the edge of her bed. "Dad, can I ask you something?" she said. "You can ask anything you want," he replied. "Why did you really stop that day, though?" She wanted to know. Andrew took a deep breath and looked toward the window. "I stopped because my mom always taught me that you can't turn your back on someone who needs help. She used to say that every person who crosses our path is there for a reason," he explained. "Your mom must have been a really good person," Gabby commented. "She was. She was incredible, and I think she would be very proud to know that I found you," Andrew said, his voice thick with emotion. "Do you think she's watching us from up there?" Gabby asked. "I'm sure she is." "And she's smiling," he answered. Gabby snuggled in, and before falling asleep she said one last thing. "I love you, Dad. Thank you for saving me," she whispered. "I love you too, sweetie. And if anyone saved anyone here, it was both of us saving each other," he replied, kissing her forehead. Life settled into a normalcy Gabby had never experienced. The new school year started, and she entered the next grade with confidence. Her grades remained high, and her teacher, Ms. Megan, always praised her. Leah remained her best friend, and they spent weekends together. Andrew continued working, but organized his schedule to be more present. He left work early to pick Gabby up, and when he had important meetings, Celia was in charge. On weekends, they did things together: movies, the park, the mall, or stayed home watching TV. Gabby had developed the habit of writing in a diary Andrew had given her for her birthday. Every night, she wrote down the day's events and her feelings. She wrote about classes, conversations with Leah, family dinners, and moments of gratitude. Reading the old pages became a way for her to realize just how much she had changed. One day, Andrew came home early with a serious expression. He asked Gabby to sit down because he needed to talk about something important. "Gabriella, I received a call from the lawyer today," he began. "And what did he say?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Martha was located. She's living in another city and was notified about the proceedings," Andrew explained. Gabby felt her blood run cold and her hands started shaking. "Is she going to try to take me back?" she asked, panicked. "No, she signed a waiver giving up all rights to you." "She didn't even contest it," Andrew quickly replied. "Then why are you telling me this?" Gabby wanted to know. "Because I felt you had the right to know. I don't want to hide anything from you," he explained. "Did she say anything? Did she apologize?" Gabby asked. "No, she just signed the papers." "The lawyer said she didn't even want to talk," Andrew recounted, seeing the pain in Gabby's eyes. "So she really doesn't care about me at all," Gabby said, her voice barely a whisper. "Her lack of love says nothing about you, but everything about her. Some people just can't love, and that's their problem. Not the problem of the people around them," Andrew said, holding her hands. "But it's hard not to wonder what I did wrong," Gabby admitted. "You didn't do anything wrong. You were just a child who needed care, and she didn't know how to give it. But now you have a real family," Andrew assured her. Gabby threw herself into his arms and cried. It wasn't a desperate cry, but one of release, as if she were letting go of all the hurt. Andrew held her until there were no more tears left. "I don't want to think about her anymore," Gabby said. "Then don't. You owe her nothing, and you can move on with your life without looking back." Andrew agreed. "Thank you for telling me, even though it was hard." She thanked him. "I will always be honest with you, no matter how difficult it is," he promised. The following days were about emotional adjustment. Gabby was quieter, and Leah noticed. During a break, she pulled her friend aside. "My stepmother was found, and she officially gave up her rights to me," Gabby confided. "And how are you feeling?" Leah asked. "I don't know. It's weird because on one hand I'm relieved, but on the other it hurts to know she didn't care," Gabby explained. "I'm so sorry, but you know you have people who truly love you now, right?" Leah said. "I know. Andrew is amazing, and Celia is too, and I have you." "The best friend ever," Gabby replied with a smile. "I'll always be here for you," Leah guaranteed, and the two hugged. As the days passed, Gabby returned to normal and realized that the news had actually been a liberation. Knowing there was no longer any legal tie meant she could finally close that chapter and focus on the present and the future. She started writing in her diary more frequently, and the words were full of hope and plans. Winter passed and spring arrived, bringing new flowers in the garden and longer days. Gabby had grown a few inches, and Andrew had to buy her new clothes. She was 10 years old now and starting to develop her own interests, discovering that she loved to draw and had a knack for creating imaginary characters and settings. Andrew enrolled her in a Saturday drawing class at an art school near home. At first, she was shy because everyone seemed to draw better, but the teacher, named Julian, noticed her talent and began to encourage her, showing her new techniques. "You have a unique eye, Gabriella. The way you see the world is different and special," Julian said during one class. "Thank you, Professor," she replied, blushing. "I'm serious. You should keep developing this," he insisted. Gabby took those words home and showed her drawings to Andrew, who was impressed. He framed some of the best ones and hung them on his office wall, saying he wanted to see her work every day. This gesture made Gabby feel valued in a way she had never experienced. The months went by, and the routine remained steady. Her grades stayed high, and she had become a reference in her class. Andrew received praise at work and had been promoted to project manager, which meant more responsibility, but also more money. One evening, Andrew called Gabby for a serious talk after dinner. They sat on the couch, and he seemed nervous, fidgeting with his hands. "Gabriella, I need to tell you something, and I'm not sure how you'll react." He started. "Go ahead, Dad, what is it?" She encouraged him. "I met someone," he finally said. Gabby was silent, processing the information. She hadn't considered the possibility of Andrew getting involved with someone because it had always seemed like the two of them were enough. "You met someone how?" she asked. "A co-worker. Her name is Patricia, and we've been going out for lunch, and I realized I really like her," Andrew explained. "And you want to date her?" Gabby wanted to know. "I would like to. Yes, but only if you're comfortable, because you are always my priority," he assured her. Gabby thought about how she felt. Her first reaction had been fear of being replaced, but when she looked at Andrew's anxious face, she realized he genuinely cared about her opinion. "You deserve to be happy. Dad, if this Patricia makes you happy, then I support it," she said. "Really?" he asked, relieved. "Really?" "Just promise me one thing," Gabby requested. "Anything you want," Andrew replied. "Promise me that nothing will change between us," she said. "I promise nothing will change. You will always be my daughter and my priority," he guaranteed, pulling her into a hug. A few weeks later, Andrew brought Patricia home for dinner. Gabby was nervous and had helped Celia prepare everything, setting the table nicely with a white tablecloth, folded napkins, and flowers in the center. When the doorbell rang, she took a deep breath and went to the door with Andrew. Patricia was a woman in her mid-30s with straight brown hair, green eyes and a gentle smile. She carried a box of chocolates, which she extended to Gabby. "Hi, Gabriella. It's a pleasure to meet you. Andrew talks about you a lot," she said softly. "Hi. Nice to meet you too," Gabby replied, taking the box. They went inside and sat in the living room to talk. Patricia asked questions about school, what Gabby liked to do, and her drawings, and she seemed genuinely interested. She didn't try to force intimacy and respected Gabby's space, which allowed the girl to relax gradually. During dinner, the conversation flowed naturally, and Gabby noticed that Patricia was smart and funny, and that Andrew smiled differently when he was near her. a lighter, more carefree smile. After dessert, Patricia helped clear the table, and when she left, she said goodbye to Gabby with a light hug. "So what did you think?" Andrew asked after she left. "She seems nice." "I liked her," Gabby admitted. "That's great, because she really liked you too," Andrew said, relieved. The following months brought subtle but significant changes. Patricia started coming over more often, always respectful, never trying to assume a role that wasn't hers, but always present in a positive way. She took Gabby and Leah out for ice cream, helped with math homework, and watched movies Gabby chose. Gabby realized she didn't mind Patricia's presence, and in fact, started to enjoy having her around. It was different from having a mother, because she had already had one, and no one would ever take that place. But it was good to have another caring adult female figure. Patricia taught her things Andrew didn't know how to do, like braiding her hair, choosing outfits, or dealing with the body changes that were starting to happen. A year after they met, Andrew called Gabby and Patricia for a special conversation. They sat in the living room, and he held a small box in his hand. Gabby already knew what was about to happen and felt a mix of emotions. "Patricia, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me?" Andrew asked, opening the box to reveal a gold ring with a sparkling stone. Patricia covered her face with her hands, and her eyes filled with tears. She looked at Andrew and then at Gabby, as if asking for permission. Gabby smiled and nodded her head. "Yes, I accept," Patricia replied, and Andrew placed the ring on her finger. They hugged, and Gabby felt sincere happiness. Then Andrew turned to her and held her hands. "Gabriella, Patricia is going to be an official part of our family now, and I wanted to know how you feel," he said. "I feel happy, Dad. Patricia is a good person, and I know she makes you happy," Gabby replied. "And you, Gabriella, I want you to know that I will never try to take your mother's place, but I really want to be a part of your life and be here for whatever you need," Patricia confessed. Her voice choked up. "Thank you, Patricia. I want you to be part of our family too," Gabby thanked her. The wedding preparations began, and Patricia made sure to include Gabby in every decision. They chose the flowers, the cake design, the menu, and even Gabby's dress, as she was going to be the junior bridesmaid. The wedding day arrived on a sunny Saturday morning. The church was decorated with white and lilacs, flowers. The pews were filled with friends and family. Gabby looked beautiful in a light lilac dress, with a white sash, and her hair pinned up in a style Patricia had helped create. She held the basket of rose petals and walked down the aisle, scattering the flowers as everyone watched and smiled. Andrew stood at the altar in a grey suit and a matching lilac tie. When Patricia entered on her father's arm, wearing a simple and elegant white dress, his face lit up. The ceremony was moving, and when the minister said they could kiss, everyone applauded. The reception was lively, with good music, delicious food, and lots of dancing. Gabby danced with Andrew to a slow song, and he whispered in her ear, "Thank you for accepting Patricia into our lives. You are incredible," he said. "Thank you for showing me what a real family is," she replied. Life continued with the new family configuration. Patricia moved into the house, bringing some of her things and reorganizing some spaces, always asking if Gabby minded before changing anything. They developed their own routine of watching shows together, doing their nails on Sundays, and sharing confidences about things Gabby was embarrassed to talk about with her dad. 2 years after the wedding, on a Sunday morning, Patricia and Andrew called Gabby to talk again. "Gabriella, we have some news for you," Andrew began. "What news?" she asked, curious. "I'm pregnant," Patricia announced with a huge smile. Gabby froze. For a second, processing, and then a smile spread across her face too. "Seriously, I'm going to have a brother or sister?" she asked excitedly. "You are? What do you think?" Andrew wanted to know. "I think it's amazing. I always wanted a sibling," Gabby replied, getting up and hugging them both. The months of pregnancy were filled with preparation. Gabby helped set up the baby's room, painting the wall yellow. She folded the tiny clothes, organized the diapers, and read books about newborns. When they found out it would be a girl, Gabby suggested the name Alice, and Patricia and Andrew loved it. Alice was born early on a Tuesday morning, and when Gabby went to the hospital to meet her sister, She felt a wave of love so immense it surprised her. The baby was tiny, with closed eyes and clenched fists. When Gabby held her for the first time, feeling the light weight in her arms, she knew she would protect that child with everything she had. "Hi, Alice. I'm your big sister and I'm going to take care of you forever," she whispered. Andrew and Patricia watched with teary eyes, and Celia, who had also come, was crying with emotion. It was a perfect scene of a family that had formed in different ways, but was real and strong. Gabby was 13 now and had matured a lot. She continued to get high grades and helped at home, taking care of Alice when her parents needed her to. She changed diapers, prepared bottles, and rocked her sister when she cried. She discovered she had a way with children and enjoyed caring for and teaching them. One afternoon, while rocking Alice to sleep, Patricia sat down beside her. "Gabriella, I wanted to thank you," she said. "Thank me for what?" Gabby asked, confused. "For accepting me into your life. I know it wasn't easy, but you chose to open your heart," Patricia explained. "You deserved this chance." "You've always been kind to me," Gabby replied, "and I want you to know that I consider you my daughter too. I know you already had a mother, and no one will replace her, but in my heart, you are my daughter just as much as Alice is," Patricia confessed, her voice thick with emotion. Gabby felt her eyes sting and wrapped her free arm around Patricia in a careful side hug, so as not to wake Alice. "Thank you for taking care of my dad, and for taking care of me too," she said. That night, after putting Alice in her crib, Gabby went to her room and opened the old diary, which was almost full of years of entries. She flipped through the initial pages, reading about the difficult days, the fear, the insecurity, and then moved to the recent pages, full of gratitude, joy, love, and hope. She picked up her pen and began writing a new entry that summarized everything she was feeling. She wrote about how her life had completely changed since that day on the dirt road, about how she had gained a father who loved her unconditionally, a stepmother who had become a second mother, and a sister she would protect forever. She wrote about how she had learned that family is not just blood, but choice, commitment, and true love. She wrote about how she had overcome abandonment and built a new life full of possibilities. When she finished, she closed the diary and looked out the window, seeing the garden illuminated by the moonlight. She thought about everything she had lived through, how difficult it had been, but also how every tear, every fear, every moment of uncertainty had been worth it, because all of it had brought her here, to this moment of complete peace. She went downstairs and found Andrew in the kitchen making coffee, even though it was late. "Can't sleep?" she asked. "Alice cried and now I'm too wired," he explained. "Can I have some coffee with you?" Gabby asked. "You sure can." "Let's sit and talk for a bit," he accepted. They sat at the table with their mugs in hand and remained in comfortable silence until Gabby broke it. "Dad, have you ever thought about what your life would be like if you hadn't stopped on that road that day?" she asked. "I have thought about it, yes. And I always come to the conclusion that it would be an empty and meaningless life," he replied. "I think about that too, what my life would be like if you hadn't stopped, and it scares me just to imagine it," she admitted. "But I did stop and you are here. And we built all of this together," Andrew said, "and I am so grateful for that. You truly saved my life," Gabby affirmed. "And you saved mine too." "You gave me purpose," he responded. They finished their coffee and went up to their respective rooms. Gabby lay in bed, looking at the ceiling and thinking about everything she had lived and everything she still had to live. She had just entered adolescence and knew many challenges were still ahead. But now she was certain that she wasn't alone and that she had an entire family by her side. She closed her eyes and whispered softly before falling asleep, "Thank you for everything I have and for everything I've become," she said. The following years brought deep maturation and transformation. She entered high school with exemplary grades and continued drawing. Her work gained recognition in competitions where she won awards. Alice grew quickly, and by age 3, she was already calling Gabby Gabs in her high-pitched voice. The two had developed a strong bond, and Gabby loved playing with her sister, reading stories, and teaching her new things. In her sophomore year of high school, Gabby started volunteering, at a non-profit organization that helped vulnerable children. She taught drawing. Classes on Saturdays to boys and girls who came from difficult family situations. When she looked at those children, she saw a little bit of her past self. "Why did you decide to volunteer here?" a coordinator asked. "Because I know what it's like to need help and not have it. Now that I can, I want to do this for other kids," Gabby explained. "You have a difficult history?" The coordinator wanted to know. "I do. I was abandoned when I was little, but I was rescued by an incredible person who changed my life," Gabby recounted. "Then you know exactly what these children are going through," the coordinator said. "I do. And that's why I want to show them that it's possible to overcome and build a good life," Gabby replied. The volunteer work became an important part of her routine, and Andrew always drove her, saying he was proud. When Gabby turned 16, Andrew and Patricia organized a party with school friends and relatives. She received gifts, but what moved her the most was a photo album Patricia had put together with pictures from the day she arrived. "Look how much you've changed," Patricia said, flipping through it with her. "I was so skinny and scared," Gabby commented, looking at an old photo. "And now you are a beautiful and confident young woman," Patricia praised. "Thank you for being part of this transformation," Gabby thanked her, hugging her stepmother. That same year, the school organized a field trip to the countryside, and Gabby went with her classmates. During the trip, they visited farms, museums, and went hiking. On one of the trails, Gabby saw an abandoned cabin, similar to the one where she had been left, and she felt a pang in her chest. A friend noticed. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I am. That cabin just reminded me of something from my past," Gabby explained. "Do you want to talk about it?" the friend offered. Gabby thought about it and decided to tell her story. They sat down, and Gabby narrated everything, from the abandonment to the rescue. From the first days to the love she had found. Her friend listened with teary eyes. "You are the strongest person I know," she said. "I don't feel strong." "I just feel grateful," Gabby replied. In her senior year, the time came to decide on a career. Gabby was sure she wanted architecture, because she loved creating spaces that made people feel welcomed and safe. She studied intensely throughout the year. Andrew hired tutors, and Patricia made sure she ate well. The day of the college entrance exam arrived, and Gabby was nervous but confident. She answered the questions, feeling that all the effort had been worth it. Weeks later, the results came out, and she had passed in first place. When she saw her name on the screen, she screamed with joy and ran to tell them. "I got in first place," she shouted, jumping up and down. Andrew and Patricia hugged her, celebrating together. Alice, who was 5, also jumped happily. "I knew you could do it," Andrew said, his eyes shining. "Congratulations, my daughter." "You deserve all the best," Patricia added. That night, they went out to dinner at a restaurant to celebrate. Gabby felt like the luckiest person, looking at the people she loved. The first year of college was challenging but exciting. She immersed herself in studies of projects, models and calculations with a passion that impressed her professors. Midway through her sophomore year, she was selected for an internship at a renowned firm. She worked part-time, helping with real projects and learning from experienced professionals. Her boss was a 50-year-old man named Robert, who had a reputation for being demanding. He noticed Gabby's potential within the first few weeks. "You have a unique eye for spaces," he commented. "Thank you, Mr. Robert," she replied. "Where does this interest in creating welcoming environments come from?" he asked. "It comes from my personal history. I know how much a space can make a difference," Gabby explained. "Then keep developing that, because it's an important differentiator," he encouraged. The years passed between studies, work, and family moments. Alice grew up and was already in school. Andrew continued to prosper, and Patricia had returned to work part-time. When Gabby was in her final year, Robert called her in. "Gabriella, I have a proposal. When you graduate, I'd like to hire you as a junior architect. You have immense talent," he offered. "Seriously? I would love to work here," she replied, emotional. Then it settled. "You finish and you start right away," Robert confirmed. Gabby couldn't wait to tell them. When she got home, she gathered everyone. "I have something important. Robert offered me a permanent job for when I graduate, she announced. That's wonderful, honey. Congratulations, Patricia said, hugging her. You worked hard and deserve every achievement, Andrew added. Graduation arrived on a beautiful December night. The auditorium was packed. When her name was called, she walked with her head held high. From the stage, she saw Andrew, Patricia, and Alice clapping. Andrew had tears streaming down his face and didn't hide it. When she received her diploma, she felt she had closed one cycle and was opening another full of possibilities. She looked at her family and blew them a kiss. After the ceremony, they went to dinner and Andrew made a toast. To Gabriella, who overcame everything and became a brilliant professional and an even better person, he said, raising his glass. To Gabriella. Everyone repeated, Thank you for everything you've done. I wouldn't be here without you, Gabby thanked them. Her voice choked with emotion. The first months of work were intense but rewarding. She participated in important projects, and her creativity drew attention. One day, Robert called her in. Gabriella, I have a client who specifically requested you. It's a non-profit that builds shelters for vulnerable children. They want you to design a welcoming space, he explained. Gabby felt her heart clench. I accept. It would be an honor, she said. Gabby dedicated herself to that project with a passion that went beyond the professional. She visited the site, talked to the people in charge, and drew every detail, thinking about creating a place that conveyed security and hope. When she presented the project, everyone was moved. This is perfect. You managed to capture exactly what we dreamed of, the director said. I put a lot of myself into it because I know what it's like to be a child who needs shelter, Gabby confessed. You were one of those children? The director asked. I was, and that's why I know how much a space can make a difference, Gabby explained. Construction began and she followed every step. When the shelter was ready, she went to the inauguration and brought Andrew, Patricia, and Alice. They saw the beautiful building with soft-colored walls and a garden full of flowers. The children were excited, exploring every corner. A small girl, about 7 years old, approached her. Did you make this house? She asked. I did. Did you like it? Gabby replied, crouching down. I liked it a lot. It's the most beautiful house I've ever seen, the girl said. That's good. I made it thinking of you, Gabby told her. The girl suddenly hugged Gabby, and she felt tears well up because she saw in that child a reflection of who she had been. Andrew, who was watching, also got emotional, and Patricia held his hand. She transformed her pain into something beautiful for other people. Patricia commented, She's incredible. I couldn't be more proud, Andrew replied. In the following years, her career took off, and she specialized in projects focused on children and families. She won awards and recognition, but never lost her essence. Alice grew up and entered adolescence, showing a talent for drawing. The two remained close, and Gabby was always present. Andrew and Patricia aged together, happy to see their two daughters become incredible women. On a special night when Gabby was 28, Andrew gathered the whole family. I was thinking, and I realized it's been 23 years since that day on the road, he began. That's true. More than half my life, Gabby said. And I wanted to say that was the best day of my life because it was the day I found you, Andrew confessed. For me, too. It was the day everything changed, Gabby replied. You took an abandoned girl and transformed her into a successful professional and a happy person, Patricia added. I just gave her the opportunity. She did everything with her own strength, Andrew countered. No, Dad, without you I wouldn't have gotten anywhere. You saved me in every sense, Gabby insisted. Alice, who was 17, wanted to speak. I know I wasn't there at the beginning, but I grew up seeing how much you all love each other. And that taught me what a real family is, she said. They all hugged right there in the middle of the living room and stayed that way for a while, feeling the strength of the bond that had been built with love, patience, and dedication. Gabby had become exactly what she had always dreamed of, an accomplished professional, beloved daughter, a present sister, and above all, a person who had transformed her pain into purpose, helping others find the same shelter. She looked back and saw the entire journey, from the scared little girl holding an old suitcase to the confident woman who was building spaces of love for other children. The scar of abandonment still existed, but it had transformed into a mark of overcoming. She was no longer defined by what she had lost, but by everything she had achieved and built. That night, before sleeping, Gabby opened the old diary and read the first pages written in shaky handwriting. Then she skipped to the last ones, where the writing was firm. She picked up her pen and wrote a final entry summarizing everything. She wrote about gratitude, about love, about family, and about how she had learned that the past does not determine the future, and that every person has the power to rewrite their own story when they find the right people and the courage to move forward. She closed the diary, knowing that this story was complete, but that many others were still to come. She had overcome abandonment, pain, and rejection, and had built a life full of meaning. She looked out the window and saw the city lights blinking. She thought about the father who had stopped his car and decided to change not only her life, but his own. She thought about Patricia, who had agreed to share that love. She thought about Alice, who had brought even more light. Gabby smiled and felt a deep peace. She had learned that family is not about blood, but about choice, about commitment, about being present in difficult times and celebrating together in good ones. She lay in bed, and before falling asleep, she thanked once more for everything she had lived through, for the winding path, because every difficulty had been necessary to mold her into the strong and compassionate person she had become. The abandoned girl no longer existed, because she had been transformed by love into a complete woman who now dedicated her life to creating spaces where other children could feel as safe as she had felt when Andrew reached out his hand and promised to take care of her forever. The end, dear listeners, we hope Gabriella and Andrew's story touched your hearts as much as it touched ours in telling it. This is a story about unconditional love, about family built through choices and commitment, about the power of a second chance, and about how we can transform our pain into purpose to help others. If you were moved by this journey of overcoming and family love, we have prepared a special playlist with equally captivating stories that will touch your soul. You can find it right here. Just click. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button on the video. Every day, we bring unique narratives that explore the complexity of human life and show that there is always hope, even in the most difficult situations. Share this story with someone who needs to believe that better days are coming and that true love still exists. Let us know in the comments which part of the story moved you the most, or tell us your own story of overcoming. We read all the comments and are very happy to know that our stories make a difference in your lives. Don't miss our next content, because we will continue to bring stories that inspire, transform, and remind us of what truly matters in life. Until the next story, and remember, there is always hope, there is always love, and there is always a chance to start over.